Hey, what's up? This is Dillio, represent DillioT2K.com, and we're going to talk about why my MK3 is still wrapped up in plastic. As you can see, this is the MK3. I got my case on it, got it protected. Let's talk about that. But before we do, I want to invite you to my website to download my latest sound pack. Dillio 808 is a free loop and sample pack. It's the first one I'm going to release this year, and I just want to invite you to download that. There are limited copies, so make sure you get your copy today. So 11 months ago, I actually did a video about why I retired my machine, and it actually, interesting enough, got more views than I expected, because I wasn't really expecting really too many people to care. Maybe the algorithm did it, but yeah, this is the MK3 from Maschine. It's still wrapped up in plastic. It's been so in 11 months, and I saw that Native Instruments changed their logo. They changed their look quietly. They didn't really make an announcement or anything, but they changed their look. And when they did that, I was hearing from a handful of people about, don't sell your hardware, don't sell your Maschine Studio, don't sell your MK3. And I guess that goes without saying about the Maschine Plus. And it begs the question, with all that's going on, we got Ableton with new hardware out. We have somewhat of an internet controversy going on with Akai, with the new hardware that they've been dropping. You got the MPC 1 Plus, MPC X SE, and there's been a lot of chatter. There's been a lot of dialogue. That's cool. And, but at the same time, I'm kind of wondering what Native Instruments is doing. I'm not going to act like I forgot totally about Native Instruments. I'm not going to act like I forgot about Maschine. I had a lot of good times with Maschine, as I said in my previous video, and I used to really rant about Native Instruments. I used to rant about, man, you guys need to do something about the software. Do something about the software, guys. And I used to really go in on Native Instruments on that. But after a while, I just sort of said, you know what, I just need to move on, because me ranting on the internet isn't really going to move the company forward. It's not going to give me what I ask for. There are other platforms that are giving me what you ask for. And that's the cool thing about being a consumer in sort of an open market. You have options. So if you don't like what a company's doing, simply move on to another company. If you don't like how the software or hardware works, you have other options. There are tons of options on there, and it must be a lucrative market, because there's a lot of companies that are doing it. I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of companies do that. So the reason I still have this wrapped in plastic is because it was a very slightly used unit when I acquired it, and on top of that, I still believe that Native could do something to make me want to unwrap this. Right now they haven't. I've seen different videos on the internet showing different things about the arranger and things like that, but I haven't really seen anything that has inspired me to get the box tonight and just hook this thing back up. And I think it's best for me to just wrap it up, since I don't use it. And I don't mean this as like a dig against the company or to any other users, but what I've learned is that when you let your gear sit around and you don't touch it, dust gets on it, or if it's somewhere in the high traffic, it could get bumped into, it could be stepped on, or something happens where you don't put it up. So I said, okay, I got some moving plastic, I'm just going to wrap it up and preserve it, so that way it's in good shape in case I do want to sell it or try it out again if Native Instruments comes out with another update. And I had a lot of fun using it. Well, actually, the Maschine Studio is probably peak Maschine use for me when I had the Maschine Studio. And you can go on my YouTube channel if you want to go back and see when I used to use Maschine Hardcore. Maschine used to be my main platform that I used. It was a love-hate relationship, because I was having issues with the hardware, with the knobs and this and that. But I since then moved on, and it looked cool. I mean, it's a nice looking device, and I had a good time with it. And it's actually a nice device, and sometimes when you acquire something finally after you wanted it for a while, it's hard to let it go. And unfortunately, you don't want to be a hoarder either too, so you have to kind of watch yourself on that. And it's been interesting with Akai releasing hardware and plugins, right? And this is sort of my same thing now. Now I see sort of the same thing, whereas Akai has been dropping hardware. They did drop a plugin, which was actually pretty cool. I'm glad that they did that. I like that they went from the Moog ARP 2600 to Juno. If I could make a prediction on that thing, I imagine Oberheim is next. It's sort of like an obvious choice if they do something different. But what I really would like to see them do is do a plug-in version of the Expand. But that's an Akai topic. So, you know, at the end of the day, once the hardware is acquired, the thrill of getting more equipment is over, unless you just like to collect gear. There's a fine balancing point between that, because once you acquire enough gear, it's like, okay, I'm full. What do I do? How do I even make music? Because I don't even know what to even touch. But once the hardware is acquired, I think companies can keep users interested with software updates. I think for me, segueing into Akai, or even Maschine for that matter, one thing I really liked about Akai was that they were kind of rolling out these software updates on a more frequent basis. We got more plugins, we got more functionality, more this, more that, easier to update the hardware. That's what was really cool, because I'm like, okay, we got the hardware, we got it. Now let's see what we can do with the software. How far can we take this hardware with the software that you update? And that was probably one of my main gripes with Native Instruments, is not necessarily the hardware, because I thought this was a really cool layout and I had a good muscle memory developed for this. But then when the updates slowed down and it stopped coming, and things that I wanted them to do, they didn't quite do, and then there are things I wanted, just flat out, there are things I wanted them to do they didn't quite do with the software. And instead of getting mad about it, I just tried other options. And that's kind of how I fell into the Akai world, because I'm like, wow, this is a nice hardware standalone software combination. It's not the Renaissance. I feel like the Renaissance is too much like Maschine. But when they dropped off the latest generation of MPCs, I was interested in that. And with being interested in that, you definitely got to do things to keep people interested. And I don't think for any other companies, whether it be Native Instruments, Akai, or Ableton, Ableton software is very advanced. I think they keep, I don't even know too much about Ableton right now. I just know that they're pretty cool on their software. But to keep people interested in Akai, or even this, to get me to get this out, I want to see a substantial software update that says, wow, let me try that out. I got the hardware. I'm not using it right now, but let me try it out. And so far right now, there hasn't been any really significant hardware updates that could come. We're almost halfway through the year, so some things could happen. But in the meantime, will Native do an update? Honestly, I don't know. I've heard rumors as to not getting rid of this thing, so I haven't got rid of mine. I still have my Maschine Studio. It's also wrapped in plastic, because those are great pieces of hardware. There's sort of some sort of sentimental value to it, and I don't want to tear it up. And it's just a small mustard seed of faith that maybe Native might do something to make me unwrap this thing. And it's not a dig against them or the companies, but this has been sitting for a while, and I hope that they do something to make me take this bad boy out. Till then, if you have a machine and you're using it, keep doing your thing, hustle. But I'd like to know what your opinions about that. Are you wondering what Native Instruments is doing? Let me know in the video comments below. You're watching Dillio. I'm Dillio T2K YouTube channel. Thank you for watching my videos and subscribing. It means a lot to me. I appreciate y'all. I'm gone.